Nagabenta ki khubor baman kasni pet but subscribe ya u Antor News.
Kublai phi baro kinigilong ki khubor bamta kasngi. Kumnu ka sarkar MDA ka Donbok banyo ya ka Agatha Sangma. Kum ka Chairperson ka Meghalaya State Commission for Protection of Child Rights MSCPCR jingkali na upat ba kumju na u Dr. Mukul Sangma Menteri Rangba Barim ka Jilla. Nagaling u Dr. Mukul Sangma habayo banya kendu syikilat pathai kubor hasilong men haka kendai terik unailur u Dr. Mukul Sangma haba keno ya u ba ula pendon kambak lai kinong kenti ke Jilla ban mentoi shimet ka bomla ban pediang. U Dr. Mukul Sangma ula kento ya Menteri Rangba ban bu hakmat ya ka baha kemiat jongki pait ba ke Jilla haswa ki kam shimet. Kadba Menteri Katanat Social Welfare ba Paul Lyngdoh ula peniksan ya ka jingtungkam ya ka MP Barim ka Lok Sabha Agatha Sangma kum ka Chairperson ka Meghalaya State Commission for Protection of Child Rights MSCPCR uba Paul ula batay ba ka kerteng jong ka Agatha Sangma ka day ka blaterwa ha ka jingyalang jong ka kinhun Menteri balong menagasngi tho ding balala adin ka jingyakren ba jingbishar ka basani ba. Ki jingkeno kinmi ben ladathung ya ka A B Lanisi kamat bakong sanhi kumbangalay thu teng shepi ngila dep yakran bat itu ya ka briu ka bangila pha kerteng banlong kum ka Chairperson ka Child Rights Commission Henry Snowsi kene ka briu kala kentaj ya ka jing terwa ka bala penslam ya ka jing thung Chairperson ngila bishar bah ya ka jing shempang jongka ha parliament ka kerdan puli jongka bar ka kam shakri jongka ya upai bah kini kimat ki bakong san ki bakershan bantung yaka kum ka Chairperson ulaong.
Let me tell you one thing, that let us not talk about the appointment of the ex-MP, Srimati Agatha Sangma, in isolation. It is just one part to reflect the nepotism, favoritism with which they have been running this government with complete sense of impunity. Okay. Now, it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. It goes beyond. It doesn't end in the notified person facilities which are eligible for those incumbent political appointees. No. It goes beyond that. You go and see for yourself of various other privileges and facilities from different line departments which are being provided to them. One is the police department. Okay. One is the police department. I will be demanding for a state security commission meeting to take cognizance of this unnecessary wastage of money from public exchequer by misusing the police authorities. You see how many of these political appointees are provided with all kinds of so-called, what do you call them? The security cover? The security cover? To all those political appointees. You look at what is the category of protectee. We have the protectees for the police department to provide all the facilities. Okay, whose life is under threat? Tell me, whose life is under threat? Tell me which of these political appointees have taken, the insurgency and militancy and other issues head on to bring peace, that their life is so threatened? If somebody's life is threatened, based on which the level of protection to be given by the police for that indicated protectee has to be worked out. Now you will ring up to the SP and tell, no, give this security to this particular gentleman. This is how you want to spend money from the scarce public exchequer. No. We will have proper due diligence and accounting of everything. And if unnecessarily protection has been given by giving police vehicle, by giving police personnel to just run around with them to show off, and create that public nuisance, we will demand for refund of every spending that has been done by the officer who have provided them. The officer concerned will have to refund all this money. We will see to that. I am assuring the people of the state. Every single paisa that they have spent just to please their political bosses, going rather by deviation from the normal course of ethical responsibility vested upon them as per the law. So this is what is going to happen. So don't look at in isolation.
But
Whose money? Whose money they're spending? Have I not referred that they're just a custodian? But the owner is you. Honor the people. Honor the innocent people. Now suppose I have become a doctor. Okay? I have become a doctor. I had the privilege of getting the government quota. I became a doctor. But whose money was spent for educating me to make me a medical professional? Public money. Public money. Therefore, I have gone and served my people. At the remotest part where no doctor was going, that is Jigja. It was without doctor for years together preceding my joining. Then subsequently, when I resigned, I found that my bond money in sync with the requirement of the law to contest in the election in 1993. So what I'm trying to say is that we are there for the people. We are there for the people. I I am Dr. Mukul. As a person, I'm Dr. Mukul, but I have a responsibility by virtue of the designation that is my designation. You see, whoever may be the chief minister, it may be Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, but chief minister is chief minister. You give all the perks and facilities for that particular office, not for the person. When Mukul Sama was the chief minister, Mukul Sama received all the perks and facilities because he was the chief minister. It was not for Mukul Sama, but it was for the chief minister. That's what I'm saying. That's why whoever is eligible for all those perks and facilities by virtue of the post and in sync with the given norms, follow it. Don't deviate and misuse your power just to show off. No, I will tell you one thing. One day I had grew my children. Did you see any so-called chief minister's advisors? So many numbers of chief ministers. How many chief ministers' advisors are there? How many? Can you count? How many did I have? How many of the political appointees were, escorted by police pilot, police escort, creating nuisance?
but are they entitled?
That's what I'm asking. The category of so-called protectee is determined by virtue of the perception of threat. That's why I'm saying perception of threat. Does this Daniel has perception of threat? Huh? Yes. The police has to inform the public. Public has to ask, does he have a perception of threat? So also many others. That is what is law.
And how do you see people have
Faith in our given democratic system, because our given democratic system revolves around the political system where you have political parties. But what I'm saying is that do not misuse it. Do it as it is necessary for the sustainability of democracy. But do not do up to that extent that it becomes a nuisance, it becomes an eyesore to the common man. Not for me, because people are coming and telling, that's why I know. Have I seen them going with those so-called misuse of those kind of facilities? I have not seen them, but it is something which comes as an input from the citizens to me, to Dr. Mukul. Sir, why are you quietly watching? People are concerned. And it is my responsibility. And I'm telling you, we will take account of everything.
See, these allegations will always come whether we appoint A, B, or C. But the important matter, which I have also shared with you in the past, was that we had already approached and identified an individual whom we had recommended as chairperson of the Child Rights Commission. But ultimately, that particular individual declined the offer. So it took more time than was necessary. And I think on Saturday last, when we had met as a cabinet, the name of Ms. Agatha Sangma was proposed. This was after we have done due diligence on the matter, considering her experience in Parliament, considering her educational qualification and also considering the fact that she has had long innings in public service. So those were major points that would stand to validate her being there as chairperson.
When was the cabinet met?
This was last Friday. Friday last.
Last Friday.
Yes.
Who you informed?
It was an urgent cabinet meeting held at 10 a.m. I think even if we informed you, most of you would not be around. It was held at CM's residence.
So only this particular matter was taken up?
No, we also took up other issues, including matters relating to social welfare department and textiles department.
You have the provisions in the Constitution, and consequent upon this provision of the Constitution, there are various institutions, NCAG, one of them being considered as you know most one of the most powerful institution mandated by the Constitution of India to really look at the manner in which the scarce resources from the public exchequer is utilized, and how um, uh, you know uh, government of the day, based on various laws which are enacted to ensure fiscal discipline, go in sync with the mandate of the law. So it's a sacred duty, sacred responsibility. It has got its own sanctity. That's the reason why, after the report, the CAG report, after compilation, what do? They provide it for the people by tabling. Every CAG report has to be tabled in the August House, be it in the Parliament or be it in the legislature. So that the attention of all concerned are drawn. But here again, based on the effective ways and means of ensuring accountability from all those authorities who are given the mandate to utilize their power and responsibilities towards spending resources from public exchequer for the public good. The concerned authorities, particularly the concerned departments, respectively have to take cognizance of the observations of the CAG report and make a suo motu response within a specified time. That is what has been one of the observations made by the Public Accounts Committee in respect of Meghalaya. That is something which we started in 1993. You know, that the departments were given an opportunity to have a suo motu response to every observation and the report thereof of the CAG. Therefore, we expect every department to comply because that's a binding responsibility. And if you again understand, the Public Accounts Committee also take cognizance of this report and then take upon itself the responsibility of really verifying the facts and what is the intent. Intent is for ensuring that any irregularity or lapses whatsoever might have been detected, then accountability is fixed, because accountability is integral part of the responsibility who are privileged to be in the helm of affairs of governance, who are vested with the power. Okay, power by virtue of the mandate of the law. Therefore, these are all again sacred responsibilities. Therefore, the government of the day also has its sacred responsibility, the sanctity of their the very responsibility towards protecting the interests of the people and protecting the interests of the state. Now we refer all this, in a simple term, these responsibilities are on behalf of the people in our given democratic system. We talk about the money which is in the government exchequer as the public money. That is the nomenclature. Why? Because you and I, all the people of the state, are the collective owner collective honor. Therefore, it is called public money. Therefore, we talk about our responsibility towards public interests, towards the interest of the state, towards the interest of the people as a whole. Now, I am quite, uh, should I say, I'm amazed or I'm a little surprised because I didn't expect trying to beat around the bush to divert the narrative and engage in a few explanation, which is completely which is a reflection of their complete desperation of changing the narrative based on what otherwise would have been a narrative on truth. You know, if you look at the very commitment of the CAG, what is it written? Dedicated to truth in public interest. So that is why I say that the whole exercise, exhaustive exercise undertaken by all concerned to compile all these reports after minute analysis of everything in detail vis-a-vis implementation of program versus the actual allocation of fund and the outcome of the desired end result, the desired end result of the programs. They are all meticulously examined, analyzed, and they compile the reports. There's a formula, there's a mechanism, there is a methodology which has withstood the test of time. You see, so therefore, rather than trying to be on a denial mode, which has become the usual practice and the modus operandi of the government of the day under the present incumbent leadership, I think public need to know that we have to follow in respect of the whole balance that we need to create in the whole the whole ecosystem of governance, both in respect of the union government and the state government. How to ensure that everything that is designed to be fulfilled by respective responsible authorities and institutions under the authorities, institutions which are under the government or the authorities, in other words, how they are able to insulate themselves from being tempted to deviate from the actual right path, in sync with the whole mandate of the Constitution and the uh, laws which were made upon based on the mandate of the provisions of the Constitutions. When they were coming up with these revised target in respect of the fiscal deficit target and the target set in respect of the debt GSDP ratio. It'll be quite surprising for you when I refer to this and I say that this is an anomaly. This is an anomaly and it is a reflection of lack of sincerity to ensure fiscal discipline. You know, that means there is a malafide intention from the very beginning. This is something which I have referred as in the past as a well scripted modus operandi. You know, now there are multiple uh, modus operandi vis-a-vis where they engage in illegalities and irregularities. Whether it is in respect of illegalities in respect of coal mining, whether it is in respect of all their illegalities towards appointment of appointment for filling up the vacancies, all these things. Now you look at, let us come, because these are figures which allow them to get away from the truth. You are all aware of the FRBM Act, Meghalaya FRBM Act. The our fiscal fundamentals are strong, it is because over the years we have demonstrated our sense of responsibility as lawmakers, as people who are privileged to be in the hand of affairs of governance. Therefore, by virtue of the realization of our own responsibilities, based on the mandate of the Constitution, over the periods of time, we have come up with a number of initiatives, including legislation to ensure fiscal discipline, the financial discipline, in respect of the spending of scarce resources from the public exchequer. Now, if you go by this very legislation in respect of the state of Meghalaya, which is referred to as Meghalaya FRBM, okay, fiscal FRBM, fiscal responsibility and budget management, FRBM. BM is Budget Management Act. Fiscal responsibility, FR BM, Budget Management Act. If I engage in jargon, then people will not know, because this is a usual trend of everyone in the government to engage on those jargons so that people will not know. If I say FRBM, people will wonder what is that FRBM. So I'm giving one by one, the full form of this abbreviation. Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2006. Then, what is this act? This act is designed not only for the state of Meghalaya, FRBM Act, both for union government and all the state governments, because we need to ensure that though we may be influenced by external forces or any other forces, the greed, personal greed, or whatever, this act will protect the interests of the state, interests of the people. Based on these, every government has to uh, prepare and place its budget, statements. The statement will indicate the targets, the different indicators which are required to be achieved to ensure that yes, we are in the right track. We have not deviated from uh, whatever was required for the government of the day to ensure fulfillment, rather to avoid deviation from the structured mandate as per the law. Now you look at the failure of the government to adhere to this mandate of the law, which is again a binding responsibility of the government. So that will indicate to the people whether the truth is being suppressed by them by not actually looking at what are the indicators. I have always mentioned, even in the uh, inside the house, while we have done presentation of the budget, replying to the extensive, exhaustive budget discussion, when I had the privilege of leading the government and also leading the finance department. What are those indicators? you know the indicators are to look at what is the debt, the outstanding is to the GSDP ratio. That will give you an indication about the fiscal health of the state, and therefore these are the indicators which are required to be set as target. Then another one is the fiscal deficit. What is the total fiscal deficit that you allow the state to embark upon? I will refer to this page 13 of this our CAG report 1 of 2024, page 13, table 1.4. Okay, you can target for compliance with the provisions of FRBM Act 2006. In respect of fiscal deficit, let us confine to only this, because going beyond will again create unnecessary time. And the outstanding liabilities vis-a-vis the GSDP ratio, or in other words, the debt GSDP ratio, which I have always referred to whenever I presented the budget and whenever I replied for the post-budget discussion. Now, you look at 2018 and 19 onwards, the fiscal deficit target set, because earlier during our time, before the amendment of the FRBM Act, There was an amendment. Subsequent amendment was resorted to by the present government also, and that is what I'm saying. They have amended certain portion in order to create these provisions for them to borrow more. Borrow more. So they say that, oh, it is allowed. It is allowed. I'm telling you, both government of India have also, to a great extent, have not examined it properly and have agreed. That's why they pick it right on the government of India sometimes. But fiscal discipline is a fiscal discipline. If there is a deviation from fiscal discipline, it doesn't mean that only state government may be deviating from the fiscal discipline. It may be union government also is also deviating from the fiscal discipline. Now, let us be really frank on this. Now, what is the target in 1819 in respect of fiscal deficit? 3.25. Okay, what is the actual? 6.3. Huge deviation. Then if you go by 1920, it is target is 4.35. It has crossed 4. Whereas during our time it was 3. We never went beyond 3 in respect of the compliance that was required to be ensured by the government in sync with the Meghalaya FRDM Act 2006. Then you will see uh, the revenue target for uh, 2021 is 5.25. You cannot imagine from 3 you go to 4, then you go to 5. That is what I'm referring to as a modus operandi. Then you to go down again after completing 5.25 target, you go down to 4, and that also I have never seen it that it is not indicative of a set single target. It is 4 dash 4.5. What is this? Then for 20 to 23, it is 4. Let us now get to the debt GSTP ratio. Now, if you are setting your fiscal deficit at 4.4, you need to also understand that this fiscal deficit will have naturally and automatically a bearing on the debt GSTP ratio.